Do I have one hell of a bombshell of news for you guys today? You see, we made a video on Lonzo Ball about 5 days ago. And in this video, I'm not gonna lie, it was just purely a piece of analysis. It wasn't necessarily news. I was just connecting the dots for you guys. And I'm gonna leave a link to it at the end screen so you guys can see the entire video because I think it's a remarkable piece. But to summarize a point of the video, we discussed how Lonzo Ball is performing remarkably well this year. After all the New Orleans Pelicans have done for him, taking him in, recreating his jump shot via a remarkable shooting coach by the name of Fred Vincent, turning him from a 31% three-point shooter all the way to a 39% three-point shooter this year. Without a doubt, this has been one of Lonzo Ball's best seasons of his career. He's averaging 14 points per game. He's shooting 39% from three. He has a PER of 15. And if you look at his advanced analytics, he's crushing it in his offensive box plus minus. His value over replacement player is a 0.9. And so far, he has contributed the most win shares at the current rate he's going of his entire career. I know you're going to see probably other values that are higher on your screen, but bear in mind, win shares accumulate as the season goes on. And so far, he has almost the same amount of win shares as he did in 2019 to 2020, and he already has 0.2 more win shares than his rookie season. So it's no secret that this is a huge year in Lonzo Ball's career, because first of all, he was engaged with the New Orleans Pelicans earlier this offseason in a potential contract extension. The New Orleans Pelicans offered him some undisclosed amount of cash. He rejected it because he felt like he was being lowballed. He's set to hit restricted free agency this offseason. Lonzo Ball is set to cash in after so far performing remarkably well in his contract year. Now, bear in mind that no matter what a team offers Lonzo Ball, the New Orleans Pelicans could come out and match that exact number that Lonzo Ball receives. And currently, his value as a player has never been higher. So as a result of that, I had a hypothesis that the New Orleans Pelicans would potentially explore trading Lonzo Ball, because otherwise you might lose Lonzo for nothing, especially if you're not willing to pay him a certain amount of money. But Lavar Ball came out and said something about Lonzo Ball, including his apparent hatred for the New Orleans Pelicans. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here. Before we get to the content, I want to let you know I have a huge podcast planned with two other extremely well-known and well-liked NBA YouTubers. You could guess who they are, but the name of the podcast is called Laced Up. I'm going to leave a link to it at the top of the description down below and in the pinned comments. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? So today we got a lot of news in regards to Lonzo Ball. The first piece of news that we got was the fact that this is kind of some old Laker lore on Lonzo Ball, that sources indicate that the Los Angeles Lakers zeroed in on Lonzo Ball because it just was too nice of a Hollywood story to pass up on the number 2 overall pick from UCLA going to the Lakers. And that's why D'Angelo Russell was traded. That's why they passed on Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum. And this is from Bill Oram of The Athletic, saying that it was looked at from Magic Johnson and others' perspective as being too good of a Hollywood story to pass up, said one league source who was familiar with the Lakers' draft strategy preparation. This has to work out because it's a perfect story, because it's Hollywood. Another source close to the Lakers agreed with that characterization, saying it was too good to be true. I think the Hollywood story was the worst thing that could have happened to him looking back. You have the most storied franchise and the franchise's most storied player, arguably proclaiming this guy to be the next big thing. And of course, 2 years later, Lonzo would get traded. Now, we got two other pieces of crazy Lonzo news that I wanted to get to you guys today. So the first piece was something that I even predicted 5 days ago in my previous Lonzo Ball video, where I said that if a team like the New York Knicks were to hypothetically break the bank on signing Lonzo Ball, well, the New Orleans Pelicans are probably going to let him go for nothing. And honestly, that was just a random team I threw at you guys that has the potential of overpaying Lonzo Ball, because I just felt like it was such a Knicks thing to do. Despite having 6 guards on their roster, I really wouldn't be surprised if they came out and broke the bank on Lonzo Ball. Now, we got a report from Mark Berman of the New York Post saying that Lonzo Ball is in fact interested in signing with the New York Knicks. Now, this report also mentions that the general manager of the New York Knicks, for his part, reportedly prefers Lonzo Ball over Victor Oladipo. Now, ESPN's Bobby Marks actually discusses how the New Orleans Pelicans would handle this situation, because if Lonzo Ball gets offered any amount of money, the New Orleans Pelicans can match, because Lonzo is going to be a restricted free agent. But ESPN's Bobby Marks doubts that the Pelicans would match an offer sheet in restricted free agency that is higher than $18 million per season. And honestly, I can't really blame them. But none of this information compares to this granddaddy of information that I'm about to get to you guys, and a piece of information that I honestly don't think I've seen for about 2 years. This piece of information really reminds me of Lavar Ball appearing on ESPN and saying all of his craziness, and it was a nice little throwback. So Lavar Ball went on ESPN Los Angeles radio, which I had no idea that he was allowed on ESPN programming, and he came out and said specific things about Lonzo and specific things about LaMelo. So let's start with what he said about Lonzo. In regards to the New Orleans Pelicans on ESPN 710, Lavar said, "I don't know what they're going to do, but I hope he gets traded. I don't like watching him play the way he plays. He can't stand New Orleans." Come on, man. Now, here's an even crazier part of the story. You remember those reports where Lavar Ball claimed that he could beat Michael Jordan in a one-on-one? Well, apparently Lavar Ball has been driving Michael Jordan crazy, badgering him consistently to try to trade for Lonzo and to also sign LiAngelo so all 3 Ball brothers could team up on the Hornets. Now, I think what Lavar Ball is saying is he really prefers when Lonzo Ball is in a more up-tempo offense, but I really don't think Lonzo feels this way about the New Orleans Pelicans. Maybe Lavar is saying this just so he could pretty much pump Lonzo Ball's value a little bit, because whatever amount of money he gets offered, the New Orleans Pelicans either have to match it or he gets to go to another team for a ridiculous payday. So all the leverage is in Lonzo's court. But do I truly think in Lonzo's heart of hearts he can't stand New Orleans? Absolutely not. Dude, I can easily prove it. You remember right before the All-Star break, Lonzo Ball was asked about how he felt about the New Orleans Pelicans core, and he came out and said, "I love playing with those guys, and I'm also really cool with them off the floor as well. We're all young. I think we can do some big things, especially in the future coming up." Now, about 10 days ago, there's a report that trade talks for Lonzo Ball has fizzled, but it appears as though the Pelicans would like to keep this young core together. The timeline of Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball all fit together perfectly, and their games could really grow with one another. I think this is Lonzo Ball's best situation, and if you ask me, I feel like these statements from Lavar Ball are as a result of what he feels about Lonzo's situation. And who could really blame him? If you're Lavar Ball, you're trying to make money off of your sons being in the NBA. You don't want your sons to play for Charlotte or New Orleans. You want your sons to play for Los Angeles and New York, because that's what generates the most buzz about your sons. I personally think that we should take this report with a grain of salt and just laugh at Lavar being Lavar, but don't get it twisted. There is some incentive for New Orleans to move on from Lonzo if they just don't want to commit to him financially in the future. But I feel like Lonzo's very happy where he is. Because if you ask me, if it wasn't for the New Orleans Pelicans, Lonzo Ball may be like the next coming of Frank Ntilikina. You know, a player that is pretty good defensively, that is very spotty offensively, that doesn't really have a reliable jump shot. Obviously, it's unfair to say he'd be Frank Ntilikina because I really think a lot about Lonzo Ball's IQ, but New Orleans has done a lot for Lonzo's development, and to think that he can't stand the Pelicans just doesn't sit right with me. Now, I'm going to be hunting for this clip religiously, and as soon as I find this clip about Lavar Ball's interview, I'm going to be posting it to my Instagram account, so make sure you're followed there. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.